Welcome back to Mega Stadiums. Today we're turning our attention to one of the most ambitious transformation stories in the Premier League, AFC Bournemouth's plans to nearly double the capacity of the Vitality Stadium. For years, the Cherries have been competing at the highest level with the smallest stadium in England's top flight, just 11,286 seats. But that's about to change dramatically. From a stadium sold out of desperation, to a failed relocation project, to a bold new expansion plan backed by American billionaire Bill Foley, this is the story of how a club is fighting to secure its Premier League future through infrastructure. Let's get started. To understand why this expansion is so critical for AFC Bournemouth, we need to go back nearly 2 decades to one of the darkest periods in the club's history. In 2005, with the club struggling in League One and drowning in approximately £7.5 million of debt, Bournemouth made a desperate decision. They sold the Vitality Stadium, then known as Dean Court, to a London-based property company called Structadene for just £3.5 million. The sale and leaseback deal helped pay off creditors and kept the club afloat, but it meant Bournemouth would become tenants in their own home, paying around £300,000 in annual rent. Even that arrangement couldn't prevent the club from entering administration just 3 years later, in 2008. The stadium itself has been Bournemouth's home since 1910. Originally named in honor of the Dean family who donated the land. After a complete renovation in 2001, which saw the pitch rotated 90 degrees and 3 new stands built, the venue emerged as a modern, compact arena. However, by Premier League standards, it's critically undersized. With a current capacity of just 11,286, the Vitality Stadium is by far the smallest in England's top flight. To put that in perspective, even Brentford's G-Tech Community Stadium holds over 17,000 fans. In a league where matchday income fuels transfer budgets and financial sustainability, having the fewest seats means earning far less than rivals. Bournemouth's demand far exceeds supply. Every game sells out, and the waiting list for season tickets stretches to an astonishing 15,000 or 16,000 fans, more than the stadium can even hold. Week after week, thousands of supporters are turned away, and millions in potential revenue are lost. By 2017, the club recognized that something had to change. Riding the momentum of their first sustained spell in the Premier League under Eddie Howe, Bournemouth unveiled ambitious plans to build a brand new stadium at Kings Park, just next to the existing ground. The vision was bold. A modern 18,500-seat arena with room to grow to 22,000. The council backed the idea, architects were appointed, and the club even set a target opening date for the 2020 to 2021 season. But that dream would never materialize. Negotiations with Structadene over repurchasing the existing Vitality Stadium collapsed. Planning challenges soon followed, as local authorities signaled they wouldn't approve a significantly larger venue in the residential Kings Park area. By 2018, the project had stalled completely. And when the relegation hit in 2020, the new stadium plan was effectively dead. Everything changed in December 2022 when American billionaire Bill Foley, owner of the NHL's Vegas Golden Knights, completed a £125 million takeover of AFC Bournemouth. Foley immediately identified the stadium situation as the club's biggest obstacle to long-term success. We're the smallest stadium in the Premier League, and it just doesn't work. He saw what generations of Bournemouth supporters already knew, that the club's ambitions were being capped by the limitations of their ground. Foley didn't waste time. In April 2025, Bournemouth announced a landmark agreement. The club would finally buy back the Vitality Stadium from Structadene, making the stadium once again club-owned after 20 years as tenants. With ownership secured, Bournemouth could finally move forward with a comprehensive expansion plan. Rather than building a new stadium elsewhere, the club decided to transform the Vitality Stadium into a venue worthy of Premier League football. The project would be ambitious, expensive, and technically challenging, but it represented Bournemouth's best path to sustainable top-flight competitiveness. After years of false starts and broken dreams, the Cherries were finally ready to build their future. AFC Bournemouth's expansion plan is nothing short of transformational. After 2 decades of limitation, the club is finally free to dream and determined to create a stadium that truly reflects its Premier League stature. The goal is clear: to build a modern 20,000-seat venue that can sustain top-flight football, unlock long-term financial growth, and deliver the kind of matchday experience supporters have been waiting for. The expansion represents a major milestone in AFC Bournemouth's history. This isn't just about adding seats. It's about achieving full compliance with modern Premier League and UEFA standards, significantly enhancing hospitality and commercial opportunities, and creating facilities that allow the club to compete for European qualification by 2030. The project is estimated to cost approximately £90 million, a substantial investment that reflects both the scale of the work and the club's commitment to staying in England's elite. The centerpiece of the project will be the complete transformation of the South Stand. Currently, this end of the ground is occupied by a temporary structure holding just 2,337 seats, a legacy of the 2001 redevelopment when the stand was meant to be a short-term solution. Under the new plan, it will be demolished and replaced with a permanent single-tier grandstand capable of hosting approximately 7,000 spectators. This new stand will become the stadium's visual and emotional anchor, modern, imposing, and finally worthy of the Premier League stage. The open corners that currently break up the stadium will finally be filled in, adding about 1,440 new general admission seats and enclosing the bowl for the first time in its modern history. Meanwhile, the north and east stands will be both raised and extended, each by about 5 meters vertically and several meters horizontally. These expansions will contribute roughly 2,900 additional seats between them and help balance the stadium's proportions. Engineers have planned these works carefully so that much of the construction can take place during the off-season, all while maintaining partial operation, keeping Bournemouth's home fixtures at vitality throughout the build. Perhaps just as important as adding seats is the transformation of interior spaces. The West Stand will undergo extensive internal refurbishment to modernize player facilities, expand concourses, and dramatically increase hospitality areas. Both open-air patios on the second floor will be enclosed and converted into premium spaces. Throughout the stadium, areas previously used for offices, many of which have been relocated to Bournemouth's new state-of-the-art performance centre, opened in March 2025, will be repurposed as hospitality lounges, bars, and restaurants. The club aims to more than double the number of premium seats and hospitality options, recognizing that high-end matchday experiences generate significantly more revenue per seat than standard tickets. Of the approximately 9,000 new seats being added, roughly 8,400 will be general admission tickets, ensuring that the vast majority of new capacity serves regular supporters. Around 600 seats will form part of new hospitality areas in the main stand and east stand, providing the premium revenue streams that modern clubs need to compete financially. When the work is complete, the expanded Vitality Stadium will finally offer Bournemouth what it has long lacked: scale, stability, and strength. So, when will all this happen? AFC Bournemouth has outlined an ambitious but realistic timeline that will see the expansion delivered in carefully planned phases over the next 2.5 years. The phased approach is essential. It allows construction to proceed while keeping the stadium operational, minimizing disruption to the team's Premier League campaign and maintaining at least some matchday revenue throughout the project. The process began in 2025 with what the club calls enabling works, laying the foundations for everything that follows. This phase focuses on infrastructure improvements such as installing the new stadium perimeter fence and relocated turnstiles, constructing a modern ticket office, and carrying out a small-scale extension to the West Stand to prepare future hospitality areas. It also includes internal refurbishments to the East and West Stands. The planning application for these works was submitted in the summer of 2025, with construction officially beginning in the first quarter of 2026. Much of the work is internal or external to the seating bowl, meaning it could progress quietly in the background as matches continued. The club expects this stage to reach operational completion by March 2026, clearing the way for the major building phases that follow. Once the enabling works conclude, focus shifts to the most visible change, replacing the temporary South Stand with a permanent 7,000-seat single-tier structure and completing all 4 corner infills. Together, these works will increase capacity from 11,286 to roughly 17,300 seats, an addition of around 6,000. The club submitted its planning application for this phase in autumn 2025, with construction beginning between early and mid-2026. Modular construction allows much of the structure to be prefabricated off-site while the old stand remains in use. As soon as the 2025-26 season ends, the temporary stand will be demolished. An assembly of the new structure will take place throughout the summer. The goal is for the south stand and corner infills to be fully operational by August 2026, just in time for the new Premier League season. With the new south stand and corners complete, attention will turn to the north and east stands. Both will be raised by about 5 meters and extended outward to add nearly 2,900 additional seats, pushing total capacity beyond 20,000. Planning for this stage was also submitted in autumn 2025, but construction won't begin until the third quarter of 2027, once the benefits of Phase 1 are being felt financially. Work is expected to start in the third quarter of 2027 and reach operational completion by August 2027, ahead of the 2027 to 2028 season. When Phase 2 is complete, the Vitality Stadium will reach its target capacity of just over 20,000 spectators. The project will have taken roughly 2.5 years from groundbreaking to final completion, delivered in carefully sequenced phases that kept the stadium operational throughout. More than a construction project, this expansion marks Bournemouth's declaration that they belong among English football's elite. A club that once sold its ground to survive is now investing nearly £90 million to secure its future. The expanded Vitality Stadium will welcome thousands of supporters from the waiting list, generate millions in new revenue, and provide a home capable of hosting European competition, if everything goes according to plan. By August 2027, AFC Bournemouth will have completed one of the most dramatic stadium transformations in recent Premier League history, taking the league's smallest venue and nearly doubling its size in less than 3 years, all while remaining competitive on the pitch. It's an ambitious vision, but for a club that has defied expectations at every turn, nothing seems impossible. And that's the full story of AFC Bournemouth's journey from crisis to expansion. From selling their stadium to survive, to failed relocation projects, to finally building their future at the Vitality Stadium. What do you think about the Cherries' plans to nearly double their capacity? Can they complete this massive project in just 2.5 years? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and swipe and hype. Thanks for watching. See you next week.